Hey guys, this is ChosenArchitect, and welcome to another Steam Rampage, where I'll be reviewing every game in my Steam library to the best of my ability. Today, I'll be playing Adr1ft, a first-person adventure game developed by Adr1ft and published by 505 Games. In Adr1ft, the player is an astronaut who awakens floating in orbit above Earth amidst the wreckage of a space station. With no memory of how she got to this point, you realize that your EVA suit is the only thing keeping you alive, and it's leaking oxygen. In order to survive, you must navigate the space station's remains to find precious resources, discover what caused the catastrophic event, and repair the emergency escape vehicle, and navigate it safely back to Earth. Adr1ft is one of the most breathtaking games I've ever played, with its overwhelming views of Earth while floating in space. The space station is large compared to you, but in contrast to Earth, looks minuscule, making you feel insignificant. The destroyed space station uses many of the same textures and floating items, even from the start, giving you an early sense of the game's repetitiveness.
Activating Spirited System Terminal.
Unlike most games, Adr1ft doesn't use much music throughout the game. It relies heavily on ambient sounds, giving you a sense of emptiness. The times music is played lets you know that some kind of event is happening. This felt out of place, given that up to this point, the game was mostly silent. Warning, spoilers. Note, all of this comes from logs and recordings in the game. The space station and the crew is the fourth iteration of the Project Dark Star, funded by a billionaire on Earth as a way to combat the effects of global warming. The project was created to produce a plant called Spiritus, which produces a lot of oxygen with little sunlight. The crew starts to get homesick, and you come up with a plan to get everybody home faster. Your plan is to keep the station in sunlight for longer periods of time, boosting the plant's growth. Command doesn't like this idea, and some of the crew don't like it either, but you go ahead with it anyways. Keeping the station in the sun puts pressure on the power core. Eventually it blows, tearing the station apart. Although your decision probably caused the accident, you're the one who survives, and you are likely going to be blamed for the event.
The risk associated with an untested production increase of this magnitude is great.
Adr1ft has you climbing through destroyed parts of a space station to find and repair your escape pod. At first this was fun, traversing through the station and all, but then you realize the next mission was almost identical to the first mission. Altogether, there are 4 missions where you fix broken core components of the space station, fixing your suit during the completion of each mission. Completing all the missions gets your escape pod up and running, thus letting you head back down to Earth. The missions felt drawn out, getting boring after the first few. Adr1ft's controls are intuitive, making you feel like you are in a spacesuit with no gravity, powered by only oxygen thrusters. The slow movement of your view made for some amazing cinematic moments. At first, getting a grip on the controls can be tough, but after a few minutes, you get the hang of it. Oxygen canisters are littered everywhere throughout the station and make for good practice controlling your character's movements as you struggle to grab for them. With your main objective being to repair your escape pod, you are left to navigate the space station with little navigation. Most of the time was spent getting lost trying to find out where my minimap was pointing to. As you're finding your way around, your suit is slowly leaking oxygen, which is also your propellant. This limits the distance you can travel and is the only real threat of death. As you make your way through the game, you will notice oxygen boxes scattered all around the station, so keeping your oxygen supplied becomes more of a nuisance than a challenge. At first, the game was beautiful with its breathtaking views of Earth and controls that made you feel like an astronaut. But once you start repairing your escape pod, the game takes a turn for the worst, becoming repetitive and downright boring. On top of that, the minimap made navigating difficult, dragging the game out even more. This goes to show that making a game seem longer is not always a good idea. All in all, I give Adr1ft a 6 out of 10. But then again, this is only a Steam Rampage, and I'll leave you to be the judge. If you want more reviews like this one, please click that subscribe button and like this video. It helps out a lot. I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.
For Elizabeth. Goodbye, Alex.